warning, this video can drastically change the way you live your life. In the next 10 minutes, I will be sharing what took me 10 years to learn about why bad money habits are keeping you struggling financially. And even though perhaps you have a good income, it seems that financially you are not able to get out of that struggle. Once you know these three skills, you will finally be able to get out of your bad money habits and get to a life of financial security. So the first reason and the first skill that you could be acquiring to manage your income and to stop that endless financial struggle is tracking and planning your spending. This is a huge step ahead if you manage to successfully do it. Planning is simply allocating the income that you have from your job or from your business for the purposes intended. So imagine you have a fixed expenses for your personal life, then you know that you need to keep that specific sum apart. But that is the first step. The second step is tracking that spending, making sure that any variances from the planning are analyzed and determined, the underlying cause determined. So why is it that perhaps you're spending more than you were planning to? Was it perhaps because of an unforeseen event, or was it perhaps because you saw a product or a service that you wanted to really have but wasn't actually part of your planning? Having that information, having that insight, basically having a story behind the numbers is what actually gives you the knowledge to know what's going on. A lot of people that are struggling financially because they are not up to date, they actually do not know what's going on. That is one of the biggest reasons why people, even if they have perhaps a good income, are struggling financially, because they are not analyzing, they do not know the story behind their actual spending. They're not tracking their spending. There is this fantastic law of Parkinson, which states that if you allocate, imagine you have a project, you want to learn to play the piano, right? So you give yourself a year. Then Parkinson law states that you will take a year to learn a piano. But if instead you give yourself 10 years, if you give yourself 10 years, you will take 10 years to learn a piano. And this is the simple yet effective and true state of things, that we often spend all the money that we have if we do not have a clear target, a clear goal, a clear planning for that money. So that is why you should invest the time and energy to learn the skill of planning your money and then tracking the spending that you actually do. So the second item is also very important, that has to do with lifestyle. You see that as soon as you probably get a raise, you perhaps decide that you want to have that new car, or perhaps live in a bigger house, or buy more expensive clothes. This is called a lifestyle creep. So the more you earn, the more you will spend. And so what happens is actually you always remain in that cycle, in that hamster wheel of continuously trying to keep up with your expenses, with your spending. And that is a huge issue, that once you start earning more income from your job or from your business, you automatically start spending more. If you manage to control that lifestyle creep, if you manage to keep your lifestyle, of course, I believe in living a dignified life, eating good, healthy, organic foods, having having the time to spend with your family, going on a vacation, and enjoying the time that you have, I think is essential. But there are certain limits. There is a basic necessity. If you look at, for example, we humans, we have basic necessities, which is which is food, shelter, and the ability also to work. But as soon as we start introducing new levels of luxury, for example, instead of having a car, a normal car that works well, we start purchasing a more exclusive, a more luxury car, because we love to have for example, have an image to be associated with a specific brand, or product or 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 type of clothes or type of watches or type of laptops, whatever the case is, we have to find the stable ground for our lifestyle that gives us sufficient satisfaction, gives us a way to live dignified. And then the second step is to look towards what can I remove, what can I eliminate from my current lifestyle that is not necessary for me to live a well-lived life, and the rest of the funds. And that is immediately the third point: is invest the money surplus, the cash surplus, invest it in cash generating assets. So I made a video about this, how you can start building cash generating assets for you today. Have a look at it. It will most definitely give you some value. So cash generating assets are basically assets. You could imagine you selling a product as a business, or either, for example, having a course that you sell online, or perhaps you sell a service to someone. Perhaps you're a freelancer and you provide services. Whatever the case is, if you manage to invest your money into growing the cash generating asset, or the capability of that cash generating asset to generate you a good income, that is when the the proverbial snowball starts to become slightly bigger every time. uh, and you will notice that the accumulating effect will become exponential. So that cash generating asset being yourself, if you're working a job, you invest in yourself by learning new skills, new knowledge, new diplomas, which gives you a higher income, and it gives you the room to be able to invest. So the third element, investing cash generating assets, is actually one of the most essential skills to be learning, because a lot of people, they overlook the value of that. They often, if you talk to the majority of people, they will tell you, just save the money on a savings account and you will receive 2, 3, 4, perhaps 4% perhaps. But that won't bring you anywhere. So that won't bring you actually to a situation where you won't struggle financially. You will need to have huge cash savings to be able to actually live comfortably from that. So the only ways to invest is either to build a business or to invest in cash generating assets, such as, for example, stocks, bonds, real estate. And what that does is that you actually detach yourself from the money, and the money starts working for you. That is so big, that is so huge. The moment that you realize that money can work for you, and I mean, as in give you returns north toward 10, 20%, that is actually when you will see a huge difference in the returns that you're getting from your income. So, recapping these three tools that you could be applying, these three skills that you could be applying today to actually end that financial struggle, start off with having a clear planning. Set out what are your essentials, what do you need to be spending, and what are needs and what are wants, and then track that spending. Analyze the story behind that spending. Understand the story, understand the story behind the numbers. Second is learn to learn to recognize lifestyle creeps. Learn to recognize that you're inflating your lifestyle. Learn to recognize that happiness won't necessarily come from driving a bigger, more expensive car, or living in a huge house, or living or buying more expensive clothes. Learn that, and you will have a good, healthy habit with regards to having a sound financial life. And the third element is learn how to invest in cash generating assets. It will most definitely give you new perspective on how you can get money to work for you, instead of you always having to work for the money. So I really hope you found this video valuable. If you did, please subscribe to this channel, leave behind a comment and a like. And I have a video about how you can even start making money out of debt. I will show it here. And we have such a a potential as humans to actually build something from our creativity. And I believe that everyone should pursue, or at least try to build, a business that is based on their purpose. So I have another video about how you can find your purpose and build a business around it. So again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.